Archaeologists and researchers around the world are always searching for the next big find that may change the course of human history. They spend months, years, and decades excavating old gravesites, caves, ruins, or remnants of long-forgotten cities. Almost every time, they find something interesting or valuable. Often, these old items are pots, statues, or other items that have withstood the test of time. Though sometimes they may be mysterious containers with ominous warnings claiming they should never be opened under any circumstance. Though these warnings rarely deter the researchers who have discovered the box. While opening these ancient containers is usually okay, there have been a few occasions when researchers wished they had never broken the seal and wished the box would have remained locked away for all eternity. Today, we'll be taking a look at a few containers that researchers believe would have been best left alone. Before we get started, be sure to hit that like button and ring the notification bell for more videos. The Dybbuk box, the Jewish wine box. According to traditional Jewish beliefs, the soul of a person who has confessed to doing horrible things is not able to make its way to heaven in the afterlife. The religion claims that once this person passes away, his soul will wander the earth in search of another host. As an example, if a famous killer were put to death in prison, there's a chance that his soul may find its way into one of the people who were watching over him in his final moments. Worse yet, his soul may find its way to an innocent infant or child, causing them to become vicious criminals as they grow old. When you hear about a Dybbuk box, this interesting belief is usually what it refers to. Many years ago, and sometimes still today, a priest would seal away the tortured soul of a criminal. These souls would be cast into containers that were to never be opened under any circumstance. Beliefs like this have made their way all around the world, with the Greeks telling stories of how Ares, god of war, was once imprisoned inside of a jar for many years. We may never know how true these beliefs are, but the followers of the Jewish faith strongly believe in the power of a Dybbuk box. Usually, when someone refers to a Dybbuk box, they're talking about an old wine cabinet that would store wines that would be used during prayer. This cabinet is said to have changed hands countless times over the years, with many people believing the soul of a violent person is trapped inside. As the cabinet has been traded around, it has left nothing but turmoil in its path. The box would cause all sorts of terrible things to happen to its owners. We don't know exactly where the box is today, but it's rumored that the box was sealed away by a rabbi or priest to prevent any further damage. We don't really know if the stories of this box are true, but many Jewish believers claim that they are. I'm sure that most people who own this cabinet wish they had never opened it or brought it into their home. Pandora's Box. Yes, Pandora's Box. This is one of the most infamous containers in world history and has found its way into folklore and mythology all around the world. These days, when someone mentions Pandora's Box, they're most likely referring to a string of bad events that have caused someone's life to spiral out of control. A single decision can lead your life down a much different path. If this decision is a bad one, you've probably heard people say something along the lines of, well, once you've opened Pandora's box. The truth is, the story of Pandora's Box takes us all the way back to the days of ancient Greece. The bulk of the story lies within Greek mythology. The story claims that all of the evils and bad things in the world were stored in this box. As long as they were inside the box, no one on Earth could be hurt, and nothing bad would ever happen. The box was designed specifically to keep the souls of the living from harm. If the box were to ever be opened, it would unleash death and devastation onto the world, unlike anything we've ever seen. When Zeus gave the box to Pandora just before her wedding day, she was instructed to never open the box for any reason. Though, after the wedding, curiosity got the better of her and she opened it. Everything that was vile and evil escaped the box and was released onto humanity. Some people believe that Pandora's Box is the reason why humanity is so violent and deceptive today. They claim that everything bad about the world can be traced back to Pandora's Box. These days, most of us believe that the Greek mythology stories are nothing more than fictional stories that were created to help the ancient Greeks understand how humanity began. There are certainly people all around the world who believe that these stories are true. However, until our final day comes, we may never truly know what is fact or fiction in regards to the Greek gods. Maybe Pandora truly is the reason why humanity has suffered so much for so long. Tutankhamun's tomb. King Tut has been shared around the world. It has since been labeled as KV62. This was the tag it was given while excavators were still uncovering the ancient burial site. When the tomb was found, it had previously been unidentified and was not what researchers were in search of. However, when they opened the tomb, they got much more than they bargained for. The truth is, we don't know too much about ancient Egypt. Much of what we know today has been fabricated by humans and governments over the years to help us better understand how the ancient Egyptians may have lived. However, the vast majority of this is purely speculation, such as the belief that the pyramids were used as burial sites. Today, there's no evidence that suggests that the pyramids were regularly used in burials or as tombs. The story of King Tut's tomb is also shrouded in mystery. Nearly everyone who entered his tomb has since died. Some fell victim to mysterious illnesses, while others died in freak accidents. The tomb was believed to have been cursed, but there isn't much evidence for this. Is it possible that all of these people coincidentally passed away after going into the tomb? Absolutely. But is it even more possible that some sort of mysterious curse was placed on the tomb to keep it safe from grave robbers? You bet. An old safe. A woman from Germany inherited a safe from her great-aunt. Over the years, her aunt had always told her about how she was a refugee from Germany when she was younger. Her story claims that she fled to Russia to avoid the reign of Hitler, and that all of her personal belongings were kept inside of this old safe. She kept up with the safe for many years, but when the end of her life finally came, she gave the safe to her niece. The niece had always believed the stories about her aunt's upbringing. After all, she told so many captivating stories about how she fled from Germany. Though she never once opened the safe and showed off any of the things she had kept up with all these years. More recently, the safe was super rusty and required a lot of force to be opened. The woman's niece expected to find all sorts of relics from Nazi Germany, maybe even a few toys from her great-aunt's childhood. However, what she found would change her family's history forever. Once she broke inside of the safe, she found one of the first printed copies of Mein Kampf. Though, aside from this, there were several copies of Nazi propaganda, including several first-edition books that would fetch a pretty penny at auction today. Nothing in this safe indicated that her aunt was a refugee from Germany. Instead, it seemed as though she had become one of the Nazi supporters that she often spoke against. The woman's aunt was not an innocent victim, but rather a perpetrator. Robert the Doll. The story of Robert the Doll is one of the most famous stories of a haunted doll, aside from legendary dolls like Annabelle. Dolls like this have been the stars of countless horror films throughout the years. It's not very often that these films are based on real experience, but the story of Robert the Doll is allegedly 100% true. Robert was supposedly a doll that was given to a child who lived in the Caribbean. The child's family didn't have much money, so anything they got was considered a blessing. Though Robert may have more likely been a curse, the doll was considered to be the root of all things evil in this child's life, and it would wreak havoc on the child and the family for many years. Eventually, the doll was locked away in a chest after it had begun to get extremely violent and would turn over furniture. When the family eventually moved, they left Robert behind, locked away in a chest somewhere deep inside the home. A few years after the new homeowners moved in, they found the doll and opened up the chest that he was stored in. This would be one of their biggest mistakes. After this, rumors began to circulate from neighbors who lived nearby the house. They told stories and claimed to have seen the doll walking around the home when the family was out running errands. One neighbor reported seeing the doll moving out of an upper-story window. We don't know how true these stories are, but considering how many people have reported being affected by Robert in one way or another, it's safe to assume that there could definitely be some truth to these rumors. After the homeowners brought Robert out of his wooden prison, he's said to have begun unleashing his wrath on everyone in the home. He would turn over furniture, move objects, and generally be mean to everyone. When he started to attack the youngest daughter of the family, they knew something had to be done. They didn't want to destroy the doll because he was such an important part of history in the area. Instead of throwing him away or burning him as they should have, they decided to dedicate him to a local museum. The problem with this decision is that Robert has continued his reign of terror in the museum. Countless people who have visited the museum claim that Robert would give off an incredibly creepy vibe. Some people say that anyone who takes a photo of Robert or speaks to him without permission will be cursed. And some rumors claim that visitors have gotten in car wrecks or other disasters on their way home from the museum. There isn't a way to confirm any of these claims, but it seems safe to say that something seriously creepy is going on with this doll. If you're ever in the Key West area, as tempting as it may be, we have to recommend against visiting Robert. This is one of the creepiest, most believable stories of a haunted doll that I've ever heard, and I would hate for anyone else to get hurt by him. What would you do if you found a box that had been locked away for hundreds or thousands of years? Would you open it or leave it alone? As you can obviously see, there's a reason behind the age-old saying, "Curiosity killed the cat." No matter how curious you may be, some things are best left alone. Whether it be forbidden knowledge or an item you wish you had never seen, sometimes it's best to leave the secrets of the past to be just that, secrets. Thanks for watching. We're always looking for amazing new video ideas, so if you know of a mysterious box, container, or other object that we didn't cover today, be sure to let us know in the comments. Also, make sure to hit that like button and ring the notification bell for more videos.